So in this video, I will show you how to get business experience as an early teenager. So at this age, you probably don't have the skills or experience to be able to start a new business and operate it. And to be honest, neither do I. I'm 16 and I know absolutely nothing about how to operate a business. So I'll show you the least riskiest ways to gain business experience. No. So the first idea, which is very easy to create, you probably already have one created, is a YouTube channel where you start posting videos to your audience and improve upon these videos so that your audience likes your videos. Now, this skill doesn't come out right away, and neither does any skill in business. So you might be stuck for a little while. Because I'll tell you my experience, and this is quite common actually, where in the first couple of videos you have absolutely nothing to say. Your mind is blank. So you start creating like scripts, word by word scripts. But then later on you find out you just need a couple of ideas, like general ideas, to start talking about without needing like word by word, like memorizing all the words. YouTube video is not just about the speech, it's about the editing as well. The more flashy and the more smooth a video feels, your audience is probably gonna like those types of videos. Now there is a problem to this idea, especially if you have strict parents. You will need parental supervision in order to create a YouTube channel and videos. So if your parents are strict and they say no, you cannot make any videos because it's not legal. Now if you do start a YouTube channel, you probably won't get paid in the first few months or even years. But you don't need to get paid. All we're looking for is the experience. Now it's important that we as young people don't go looking for the money right away, because we watch influencers talking about entrepreneurship and why that's the best idea to become financially successful. It doesn't mean that we should skip out on the employee bit, which I think a lot of people already have implanted in their mind that. So what I'm trying to say is, being an employee is also important because it gives you the motivation to start a business and not fail it. You may fail it, but you're less likely to fail it compared to if you were never an employee. Now the second idea is to sell, again using parental supervision, in your parents' account on eBay. So idea number 2 is to sell assets on eBay using your parents' account. And of course this has to be with your parents' consent, because they need to know what you're doing on their account. So once you have gotten their consent, you can start looking for things to sell. So this could be anything like electronics such as phones, consoles. So once you've picked your item to sell, you can start making a listing. You can put the listing name. If you don't know how to do it, if you don't know how to make a professional looking listing title, you can just ask ChatGPT. you can tell them, I'm selling this in very good condition or poor condition, whatever, and they will just feed you a title back. Now sometimes the title will be a bit like, it'll be exaggerated, so you can just ask them to simplify it down and just pick a title which you think is best for the listing. And then the part comes where you have to take the photos. So selling through eBay also teaches you photography in the business aspect. So it teaches you to take photos from different angles of the item. And it also teaches you that if you don't take photos from different angles, your listing will look quite empty. And the potential customers who click on your listing, they'll see that you haven't completed your photos. So there's no way for them to know if you're lying about your product. So let's say you didn't take a photo from the back of the item. Even though it might be like perfectly intact, the back of the item, the customer might think that you're hiding something. There might be like a little crack in the back. So that's why it's important to take photos of all around the product. Now for the description, you can again ask ChatGPT for it. Just make some AI generated. Just tell them, make a description, an eBay description for this item. And I think the key is to make it simple. And again, I think the key here is simplicity. You want your customer to know what you're selling, why you're selling it, returns, shipping, all that. And there are some eBay listings where they don't tell you enough that. They just provide the specifications of the product, even though you already know that. So don't provide the specifications, because most people already know what they're wanting to buy. Just put in like, include the accessories, like what you're going to give them. Tell them about any defects of the product you're selling. Because if there are any defects but you don't tell them and they receive the item, they're going to leave you negative feedback. So eBay also teaches you to be transparent of the products that you sell. Now the last thing is pricing. And this is now the last thing to talk about, and probably the most important, is pricing. It determines whether people buy your product or not. And this applies to business everywhere. If you sell your product for too high compared to your competitors, you'll be less likely to sell the product. If you sell the product for too low, you won't make profit. Now the buying format can be either auction or buy it now, and best offer. Best offer is not separate from those two. Best offer is just when you allow the customer to type in a price for you to decide if it's good enough or not, to then sell your product with that. So you can choose between those two types of buying formats. I don't know, I'm still quite confused on those. But there is one thing to keep in mind about bidding. There will be zero feedback people, these like time wasters who just bid on your product. And then when it comes for time to pay, they don't pay it. So buy it now is less time wasting because the person has already paid. You don't need to wait for payment because it's instant. So you don't need to relist the item as you would do in an auction if someone doesn't buy it. So I hope this video taught you some valuable knowledge regarding business. without having to open up a business. Actually, technically they are businesses, but they're not like Apple or Samsung where you have to pay people wages. So it's the easiest option out there. If you did enjoy, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Farewell.